Hello, I'm back already. Oh my goodness, and she's wearing makeup. Oh my. I haven't worn makeup in over a year. I usually don't, but I just felt like it because I've been watching a lot of Drag Race recently and they all look so pretty and it made me want to play a little bit. So, yeah, there you go. So welcome or welcome back. Let's take a look at dating advice. Um, how do I stop giving off gay vibes to women? I'm a 33-year-old male, and literally my entire life I've been mistaken for a gay man on initial impressions. All my friends I have all my friends I have now thought it. My former best friend of 25 years, and even my own brother told me while drunk that if I was gay, he'd fully support me. It's sort of pissing me off, to be honest. People think I'm gay because I'm well dressed, attractive, lean, don't watch sports, have a light voice, and very open with my mental health, emotional struggles. And when I see something cute like a dog, I'll say, "Aw," because it's fucking cute, not because I like dick. I developed this persona because my brother and father gave off extremely toxic masculine vibes growing up and held everything in so they can have a rage induced breakdown later. I intentionally became the opposite because anything masculine to me as a kid seemed awful and fake. I noticed it made people more comfortable when I acted similar to my mother, so I leaned into that a bit heavily without realising how it would affect my dating life growing up. How old are you again? 33. I've had two different dates this past month where one of the women I hooked up with told me that my feminine energy made her feel safe. And then the date immediately after told me that I'm very easy to talk to but didn't feel anything sexually with me, and then I came off as a best friend. What exactly makes a man more masculine while dating? Mm, I'm kind of conflicted by this one because I think if that's the way that you are, just embrace the way that you are. Like, I don't think that you should be trying to act more masculine or less feminine or anything. Like, I understand that it can be frustrating when you're trying to date and stuff, but I mean, a lot of guys and a lot of women, I'm sure, get told that, I see you just more as a friend and stuff like that. It's not necessarily because you come across as being gay or lesbian. I think that's just, sometimes you have a connection with someone, but it's just not a sexual or a romantic connection. And I think that's totally fine because, like, think about, right, if I was to give you advice right now on how to seem more masculine when you're dating, say that works with a woman, she's attracted to you, she likes the bitchiness, whatever. Are you gonna then act that way and be someone that you're not naturally for the rest of your life just to stay with this person? Is that love? Is that a real relationship? Do you know what I mean? So, I'm not really going to answer your question. I'm just going to tell you that, like, I feel like that's the wrong question. Like, honestly, I think, like, I understand your origins, like, with the toxic masculinity and stuff. And actually, it's nice that your brother would, accept you regardless, given this history. But yeah, I don't think you should try and be more or less anything unless it actually, like, unless you want to change it for yourself. Like, if you were to say, I don't really care what women think, but I want to be more masculine, then fair enough. But it sounds as if you don't. You just, don't want to keep coming off as gay. But whatever. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with a little bit of, um, flamboyance or campness or whatever you want to call it. I think it's fine. So, yeah, I'm not gonna not gonna give you an answer to that question, but hopefully still useful advice. Should I, 35-year-old female, finally just give up on my dream of having kids? It also seems to scare everyone I've been dating away. So I just got dumped by a perfectly fine guy once more. Part of the reason he gave me was that he didn't see himself getting a child within the next year. I didn't ever suggest this to him though. I was only stressing that I'm 35, so if we should have kids, it shouldn't take him too long to at least figure out if that's something he wanted at some point in his life. It seems to scare all the people I've been dating the last 4 years away though. I'm not sure why. All around me I see friends finding a man and rather soon thereafter they agree to start a family. My friends say they also brought this subject up rather early and it was never a problem or scary to the guys they were dating. So I'm thinking about my options here. Obviously there's just something about me that makes guys I'm dating not wanting this with me in particular. Not necessarily. I also gotta say, I come with a lot of heavy luggage from the past, and I'm not always so mentally stable. I don't have any successful relationships, and also I don't have any really close friends. I have chronic minor illness also, but I'm waiting for a surgery that might help me. This illness isn't life threatening or anything, so even if I don't get a surgery, it's not like I'll die from it. But I would probably have to do some lifestyle changes. It's to do with inflammation in my sinuses. Anyways, with all this being said, my past was filled with stress and trauma, and there's a lot of red flags because of it, probably. I know this and I'm working on it every day. My future doesn't look promising either, I guess, but it also doesn't look too bad. With all the information added though, am I in a place now where I should just give up my dream of having a kid? I don't think I'm in a state to get a kid on my own, and I don't feel like I have a strong enough network that could even help me with that. Finally, I don't think I'm able to find the right I don't think I'm able to find the right person in time, and I think the thought is stressing me so much that I'm kind of running into the wrong people, or am I somehow ruining it with the right people because I want it too soon? Is it just time for me to give up? Well, knowing that it won't happen. Well, is it just time for me to give up well knowing that it won't happen then? Like, I know someone would say, I felt the same way and then I met my husband and a few weeks later now I'm pregnant. It doesn't work that way for me, I think. I think I'm at a place now where I have to let go of the dream completely to be able to relax and find the right guy for me who maybe doesn't want to have kids ever, and that's fine. Like, I shouldn't even bring it up all the time. I shouldn't even bring it up at all next time I'm dating. Even if they ask, I'll just be telling that it's not a dream or a goal for me any longer. I feel extremely lost in my life now, and no, I won't be able to have a kid on my own, so please do not suggest this. Can you wait and then still try for a kid or adopt? Like, I get the whole biological clock ticking thing or whatever, but you know, that's not the only way to have a child. But should you give up on your dreams? Is that what the question is? Yeah, should I give up on my dream of having kids? I don't think so. I think that's a bit much. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, you know, people are like, oh, you know, I just want to find someone. I want to settle down. And how come it doesn't happen for me? And then the friends are like, oh, I felt the same way. And then 2 weeks later, I'm pregnant, as you say. So, like, I kind of get, like, being in that situation where you're kind of feeling hopeful, but also, like, that's not the way it's turning out. So, is it time to just, like, switch my game? Like, for me, if I was in that situation, I would also bring it up early because I think that if you're thinking about, you know, time's ticking away and you want to have a baby within the next year or whatever it is, then it's good to be upfront with whoever it is that you're dating. They should know what they're getting themselves into. They should be able to make that choice early on. I also don't really think that it's nice or fair or necessary to say that you have to either give up on your dream of having a baby so then you can be with a man, I'm guessing, because you're talking about guys, or you keep your dream of having a baby and then you don't have either, you think, right? I mean, it's easy for me to say I don't think that's what's going to happen, and there's someone for everyone and all that kind of stuff, which I think there is, to be honest. But I do think, like, there is such a thing as, like, wanting it too much or, like, giving off vibes and stuff like that, because, yeah, as I say, like, be upfront and let people make their own decision. But, like, what was it you said that was a bit what did you say? What did you say to that guy? Where are we? Yeah, I was only stressing that I'm 35, so if we should have kids, it shouldn't take him too long to at least figure out if that's something he wanted at some point in his life. And he said he didn't see himself getting a child within the next year. I mean, yeah, I think it's fair to say, look, we don't need to have a baby tomorrow, but you should at least know whether or not you want to have kids, because if you tell me tomorrow, no, I don't want to have kids, then thank you, have a nice day. I think that's fine, but I don't know, maybe, you know, there's ways to say things, so maybe you said it in such a way that made him think that you were meaning, like, let's have a kid straight off the bat, like, I don't know. But I do kind of feel like as well, like, as much as we should endeavour to communicate properly. I also kind of feel like, you say you've got baggage and you can be a little bit unstable and you've got other health issues going on and whatnot. I kind of think that it's a good idea to hold off for someone who isn't going to take what you say the wrong way or isn't going to like freak out or think, jump to conclusions and stuff like that, because like, how is it going to be in other situations? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you've said something about like having a baby, like totally like not in a rush, just saying like, if you could let me know whether it's something you want, full stop, then that would be great. Like, if someone like takes that in the wrong way, or if they take away from it something that you didn't mean, then that's not going to be good moving forward, because what other misunderstandings and stuff like that are you going to have? Like I say, I think it's good to endeavour to communicate properly anyway, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, some communication styles go better together than others, and some people will always find something different in what you say, no matter how clearly you communicate it, because communication is a two-way street. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's giving out information, words, body language, whatever, and then there's also receiving it, and people receive with bias. So, I think that you can do all the right things, and some people are just going to take it the wrong way. I'm kind of going off track here a bit, of course. Should you give up on your dream? I don't think so. I think just hold on out, and I don't think that you necessarily need to have a baby by yourself, but like I say, maybe you can just wait a little bit longer and adopt if you're not able to have a child biologically. But I don't think you should have to give up your dream. No. Next one. I accidentally said I love you. So I'm a 30-year-old man and my girlfriend is a 29-year-old female. We've been dating for 4 months. Last night I took her out for dinner and a play. It was a good time, probably not our best date, but it was good. So we were on our way home and on the train, and I took a nap while she listened to our podcast. I instinctively woke up to my stop, so I gave her a hug and said, "Bye, love you." As soon as I said it, I got so awkward. I turned around and said sorry, acted weird, and walked off the train. So our nighttime good nights went normally, and we both didn't bring it up. Now I woke up first thing this morning, so I sent her the regular good morning text, but I also did a voice note saying, "Sorry for last night's goodbye, but I think I'm falling in love with you." I haven't sent the voice note yet. I don't know what to do. Also, caveat, I'm this girl's first boyfriend ever. She spent her entire life focusing on school and career. She has zero experience, very shy and introverted, and is extremely independent. She cringes at corny lovey-dovey stuff and also feels uncomfortable with stuff like kissing. What's your question? I think there isn't a question, right? Maybe the question is like whether to send the voice note or whatever. I don't think you should address the situation in a voice note, to be honest. I think this one requires a little bit more of a personal touch. So I get it, you were groggy, you just woke up from a nap, you were like, okay, need to hop off the train because it's my stop, okay, bye, love you. Like, it is a kind of reflexive thing to say, but in this case, it sounds as if you actually meant it, but you didn't mean to say it. That is pretty fucking awkward. But it's happened now, you can't do anything about it. So what should you do moving forward? I don't think you should apologise for it, because like the only thing to maybe apologise was the awkwardness and uncomfortableness, right? Discomfort. But like, why should you apologise for telling someone that you love them, especially if that's the way you're feeling. However, I wouldn't, as I say, get on a voice note and say, "Hi, sorry for last night, I think I'm falling in love with you." No, maybe be like, "Hey, so about last night, sorry I made it so awkward. I would really like to talk about it. Like, do you have time later today? Maybe we can hang out and have a little chat." Like, I mean, you're saying that, you're the first boyfriend ever. She's like really shy and not into lovey-dovey stuff and whatever. But the thing is, if she feels the same way about you, that won't matter, because she'll be feeling it anyway, and she'll be like, "Oh my goodness, like, what are the chances? First boyfriend I've ever had, or 4 months in, I think I love you too. But if she's not there yet, she's not going to be there yet, and you've still said it. So, do you know what I mean? I think like the situation does need to be addressed, but in person or on the phone, not in a voice note. Again, I don't know what your question is. But I wouldn't, like, put it this way, right? I wouldn't go full force, I'm in love with you, but I also wouldn't be like, let's pretend the whole thing never happened. Do you know what I mean? I think, like, I have the impression that people think that if two people don't fall in love with each other at the exact same time, then they're doomed forever. But I think it's possible for someone to get the feels first and then for the other person to follow later. Like, just because there's no a synchronization in the intensity of the feelings, like, as long as you both get to the same place in, you know, relatively good time, then I think that's okay, right? Like, I think if it was going to scare her off, she was probably already not sure about you. But if it doesn't scare her off, but she still doesn't feel the same way yet, but she could see it getting there, then, you know, could be fine. Could be fine. Next. He was dating someone else the whole time and chose her. I'm a 29-year-old female and just found out that the guy, 31-year-old male, that I've been seeing consistently for 3 months was also dating another woman, early 20s and more of an Instagram girl vibe. The whole time. I brought up exclusivity, thinking/hoping it was going to go well, and he told me this and said he had decided in his head last week he wants to be with her officially. Why are you only telling me this week when I brought it up? It was a big shock. I know I should have discussed exclusivity earlier and not made assumptions, but I didn't expect this. Did he do anything wrong? Girl, you said you didn't talk about it, you didn't agree on anything, so no. We would usually spend 2 to 3 days or nights together per week, mix of dates and relaxing at home or cooking together and general coziness and playing house. It involves sleepovers but not always involves sex, and he was extremely affectionate with me, kissing, holding hands, cuddling, etc., both in public and in private. How does he have time to spend 2 to 3 days a week with you and with the other person? Like, he must be with one or the other all the time. He was almost always the one initiating seeing me and leading on things. He paid for dates and was very caring. I was caring back, gave him gifts, etc. We met through mutual friends and they had a good view of him, so that added a layer of trust. I've been struggling so much, having lots of anxiety and feeling heartbroken. I truly saw us moving forward towards a future together long term. Also to add, I was exclusively focusing on him as I only date one person at a time usually. When we ended, he cried with me so much. Over a day, we cried properly, maybe 8 times in each other's arms. It's so confusing. Not sure what advice I'm looking for, but I would love any insights or opinions in this situation. Girl, are you sure he decided to go with the other person, or is he sure? Because the only thing I would say that's a bit suspect is that he decided last week, but he's only telling you once you've brought up the topic. That's like, not so cool. But the fact that he's been dating someone else at the same time, you didn't discuss it, you never asked. So, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that. But I think you're right, it is very confusing that he's then essentially breaking up with you and like crying in your arms. Why are you so upset? Do you know what I mean? Is it because he thinks that he's going to lose you as a friend and he really values you as a person? Is it because he still kind of has feelings for you but just has more feelings for the other person and so he's also conflicted? Like, how did he come to this conclusion? What's been, you know, the reason for his decision? I'm also confused, but to be honest, like, I'm that way where it's like, you've made your decision. You've already told me that you're going with this other person, so time for you to start moving on, I would say. Like, what I would say not to do, unless he clarifies things very quickly, don't hold on to this interaction and think, well, he was upset breaking up with me, so maybe he's still interested in me, maybe I've still got a chance. Don't do that, because that's just like, not a good look. And it's not going to be very helpful or feel very good for you. But I don't think he did anything wrong, but he is being confusing. Yeah, that's my insight and opinion. Okay, that's all you asked for. What the fuck am I doing? Girl, I'm a 34-year-old male, dated a girl who's 35 for 4 months. She has borderline personality disorder. She spent the first 3 months asking me if I really liked her and if I was going to abandon her. I reassured her the entire time. I'm looking for marriage and she knew this. I was crystal clear about my wants and needs. Sex was great, told me she felt safe with me, etc. We'd hang out all the time going to bookstores, etc. She introduced me to her 3 boys, 8, 9, 13, who love me now. They're always asking her if I can come over and even if I can sleep over. Well, one night she was supposed to come over to my place after she got off work around 11 or 12. Is this at night? Anyway, oh yeah, one night she was supposed to come over, sure. I tried calling her a few times to see if she was okay, etc., but she didn't answer. She texted me around 2 saying she was way too high. I started freaking out a bit. Long story short, she finally called me at 2:30. I'm a wreck by then. She tells me she feels weird and asks me to pick her up because she can't drive. I say yes, I'll come get you. The bar is a 3-minute drive from my place. I get there literally 4 minutes later, and when I walk in, she looks shocked to see me. She's sitting at the bar with a guy and they're pretty close together. I walk up, tell her to get her things and that we're going home. I was with you until then. I was calm, eerily so. The guy stands up and goes, "Who are you?" And I tell him, I'm her fucking boyfriend. And the guy looks shocked. Are you her boyfriend though? Turns out he overheard her saying she was too high from the weed pen and drinking, so the fucking slime ball offered her a Xanax, which she took. About 30 minutes later was when she called me, so I had a freak out asking her if she was cheating, etc. Seemed a reasonable question given what I just walked in on. She said no, of course not, and I took it at face value. We're technically not together right now, but she still invites me over for dinner, etc. FF to this past Sunday. What does that mean? FF? I don't know. She was at the bar for the football game. I was gaming with my friends. She calls me at 7:30 and invites me over to her place. She's already drunk/buzzed and had her boys home alone for 3 to 4 hours. Anyways, we started playing Magic the Gathering on her bed and her phone starts blowing up. She's staring at her phone, grinning. That kind of grin. Girl, I know what you're getting at. The one when someone you wanted to text you texts you. After about the 15th text message, I casually say, "Dang, who blowing up your phone, girl?" And her demeanour changed immediately. She goes, "My friend," and there was my friend. And there was a coldness in her voice. Apparently it was her eldest son's friend's dad. And she takes a pic of our Magic the Gathering game and sends it to him. She told me that he's so far out of my league. And you think you're her boyfriend? I told her if she's talking to anyone or seeing anyone in a romantic capacity that she needs to tell me so I can step away. Are you together or are you not together though? Because you said you're not technically together. I'm confused. For Christ's sake, I was over at her place a few days ago building gingerbread houses with her boys. Am I being used? I know she's spiralling hard right now and struggling massively financially. Her rent is a week past due right now. She owes her mechanic over $1,000 and doesn't even have money for Christmas presents for her boys. I know I'm attractive, physically fit, nerdy, I've got a job, car, own place, etc. Good and bad. She's dated real abusive deadbeats in the past, and I wanted to show her that she deserves a loving guy who will take care of her and her boys. Should I cut all contact with her and let her hit rock bottom? I'm so stressed and depressed from all this, but I started loving her. Aww. So what's the question? Are you being used? And what the fuck are you doing? Let's break it down a little bit. So basically, you know she's got some issues, but you're okay with it. She's got kids. You all get along really well. She was supposed to come over one night and then you find out that she's like super high and that's why she didn't come over or answer your calls, which I'm a bit like, okay, inconsiderate. I was worried about you, but all right, I'm glad to hear you okay now. she's like, come pick me up, but then for some reason forgets that she asked and is all snuggly with some other guy who gave her drugs after she was already too inebriated. Yeah, they seem all like lovey. And then, why are you technically not together now? What was it you said? Yeah, we're technically not together right now, but she still invites me over for dinner. So what happened so that you walk in and say, I'm her fucking boyfriend, to we're not technically together, to if you're seeing other people, you need to let me know? What the fuck are you doing? I think you need to figure out what you want, okay? That's always the first thing, because you see when people are like, oh, I don't know what they want, they confuse me, what do I do? Like, figure out what you want first of all. What was it you say? You think you're falling in? Yeah, I started loving her. I think you need, I mean, it sounds as if you want a relationship with this person, but you just don't know if you're like being messed around or whatever. I'm not too familiar with borderline personality disorder, so I can't really comment on what effect that has on like the relationship and her behaviors and stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if that played a part in things. So I'm thinking, just based off what you said, like maybe she still likes you, but she's also low-key still dating other people. Maybe she had her fun with you and now someone else more interesting has come along and now she's fixated on him instead. Maybe she's fucking inconsiderate and doesn't realise that what she's doing isn't okay. I mean, what was it you say? Something, I told her if she's talking to anyone or seeing anyone in a romantic capacity that she needs to tell me so I can step away. I think that's fair enough that you've said, okay, if she is seeing other people, then I've made my decision, I need to step back. But I don't think that means like letting her hit rock bottom or whatever. Like, I do think that there's helping someone and then there's like fucking becoming this person's carer or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, to the point where it's like they just expect you to be there and pick up their shit, when actually you were just, you know, gonna hold a couple things for them while they picked up their other shit. She had cut all contact with her. I don't like the word ultimatum, but I would essentially give her an ultimatum. Just be like, look, this is my situation. This is what I've decided. I want to be with you, but if we're going to be together, we have to be together. Like, don't be fucking around with other people, making me feel insecure and all this kind of stuff. If we're going to go for it, let's go for it. And see what she says. And if she's like, nah, I'm not there, I want to see other people, then yeah, step away. But that doesn't necessarily mean like abandoning her. You know what I mean? So it's a hard balance, right, between like still being there for her as a friend, but then also not letting her walk all over you, not ending up being in the situation where you're used. So figure out what you're comfortable with, like where your boundaries are, and then go from there. Because then if you already decide ahead of time what would be acceptable to you and what would not be acceptable to you, then when you're in that moment where you're confused and you don't know what to do, you've already made that decision when you had the capacity and the brain power to do that. You know? That's my advice. Next, are these flags or misunderstandings? Is it dark? Is it too dark now? Should I turn on this light? I feel like the light was like a little bit too bright and it's like on the other side. Yeah, okay, I turn on. Okay, so are these flags or misunderstandings? I met a guy through Hinge and we went out on a few dates. The first date was awesome. We went to bar trivia, laughed a lot, big plus for me, and seemed to have similar views on things in life. One weird thing happened though. Prior to the date, the first date this is, we agreed to eat in advance. He said bar food wasn't kind to his stomach. Very understandable. So I came full. At the bar, he said he hadn't eaten yet and ordered a pizza for the table. He coaxed me to try it a few times and I eventually ate one slice to appease him. When the bill came, I offered to split it and he took me up on it. Effectively, I paid for a good portion of his dinner. He took all the leftovers. Whatever, not the end of the world. In between dates, we had a text convo about dating life. I made a joke about my age, we're of similar age and not 20 anymore, that I was wondering if I should make my standards someone with good cholesterol in a pulse. Oh, he took offence. I immediately apologised, explained that I was ripping on myself, but I understand that it made him feel devalued and that was not my intention, and I was very sorry. He accepted and concluded the conversation by saying he wants something serious. He will let me know if he isn't feeling it, but I don't have to do the same. Okay. I told him that felt like he was putting me on a job interview, a one-way street. He said he didn't mean it that way, no apology, and we moved on. God, it's only been one date. On our second date, we referenced the chat and I apologised again. He laughed and said he understood. In turn, he gave me shit about the job interview comment. No apology, just general annoyance that I thought that. After our second date, he texted about going back to trivia again. I agreed and joked that I would come hungry this time with a laugh emoji. He said that he only ordered the pizza because I told him I felt bad for the waitress not ordering anything. This never happened in any way, shape or form. Guy's tripping. My current read, this guy doesn't take accountability or apologise, and he has a habit of reframing things and or gaslighting, literally telling me I said things I didn't say and rewriting the situation. I told him after that we might be a mismatch. Things felt off. I didn't explain why. He texted at 6 a.m. this morning that he thinks he knows why I'm uncomfortable and can explain why he's been weird, that it's embarrassing, and he wants to tell me by phone. Dun dun dun. This feels weird to me. Should I take the call? This is a bit much for 2 dates yet, right? I mean, I kind of want to know what he's got to say, but yeah, this is a bit fucking much. It's only been 2 dates and you're already having like these misunderstandings and these doubts and stuff like that. I'm kind of like, why are you even still dating this guy anyway? Why are you still saying yes when there's been so many things? Like, I do think like if it's one thing over the course of time or 2 things over the course of time, then fine, it happens, like no biggie. But you've only met this guy twice and there's already like 2 or 3 things that you're not happy about. Do you know what I mean? It's not just the thing in isolation, it's everything together, and I personally can't be bothered with it. I think this is the kind of thing where in my past I would have just ignored it and I would have said, look, I'm just being like whatever, I'm looking for things to go wrong. It's no big deal. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna continue. And then it always turns around that actually I should have listened to my instincts and not continued. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's not as if you have a lot invested. It's only been 2 dates, and like I say, it's kind of sounding like you don't really like him, so I would just cut it off. Take the call. Because I'm curious, but not just that, but because I don't think that you should cut things off with someone, not like at least speaking like better in person, but at least speaking on the phone. So take the call, and then deal with it from there. Yeah? Okay. Last one. Guy never calls me by name. 25-year-old female and 30-year-old male. I work with a guy who talks to other males at work, and most of the time addresses them by their name. However, while talking to me, he never says my name. Are you dating? Or is this just a guy from work? We had some correspondence by text and he didn't say my name. When we leave the office, he always tells other females or males, good night, Susie, or see you next week, Billy. But when I say that to him, good night, John Doe, he doesn't say that back to me. He never says goodbye. Does he never say goodbye, or does he just never say goodbye with your name? He acts shy around me too, and when we have to talk at the office, he's always super nice and friendly. Sometimes he stares at me from afar. What does this behaviour indicate? I was kind of wondering why it was in dating advice, but I guess what you're getting at is like, does this guy like me? Sounds like the question. Honestly, you should have told us what your fucking name is. Maybe he genuinely doesn't know how to pronounce your name and he doesn't want to get it wrong. That could be all it is. Like, tell us your name, girl. Confused villager. Well, maybe he's uncomfortable calling you confused villager. I don't fucking know. Ask him. Just be like, you know, having lunch together one day, like, oh, you know what, or like when you're about to leave each other's company, just like, you know what, I noticed you always call people by their name, but when we say like hello or goodbye, you never say my name. Like, is that intentional? And just, you know, see what he says. Or maybe he fucking forgot your name. Maybe he doesn't know what your name is and he's trying to look at your name tag or something. Maybe that's why he's staring at you, because he can't fucking read it. I don't know. But what does this behaviour indicate? Yeah, maybe he's interested, maybe he's not. I don't fucking know. Anyway. I feel like that one was a bit, like, meh to end on. Should we look for one more? Just one more that's a bit more interesting. Someone's asking, what should I do? So this is like an actual question. Let's look at this. Okay, this is the story of yesterday I was in a house party and a friend of mine invited two girls. One of them is not my type, but the other was 100%. The thing is that my friend is the typical tall, jacked, pretty-faced guy, but he never pays attention to the girls he brings over. He has ADHD and he's always on drugs. He gets all the girls on dating apps and brings them to us. One of our friends is even dating one of these girls he brought to us. When we point it out, my ADHD friend is like, oh, I'm okay with him dating her, she's not my type. Okay. Anyway, the thing is that we chatted a lot, us three. Maybe it was the alcohol. They told me I had a nice vibe. Friend-zoned? Not necessarily. And asked me for my Instagram. But in a moment, this girl that I like was trying to get the attention of this ADHD friend of mine. Why are you characterising him only by a condition that he has? Like, does he not have a fucking name? Why can't you call him like Jack for Jack guy or whatever? Anyway, she was trying to get the attention of the friend, getting closer to him without much luck. Anyway, we went to a club and I lost everyone and ended up hooking up with another girl. Probably the girl I liked did the same, but that's life. These two girls mentioned that they would like to do daily plans, not just party. I really want to date this girl, but don't know how to proceed. She has 1.5 thousand followers on Instagram, and probably a lot of guys are texting her. Should I make it less of a date, trying to talk with her friend and bring another friend so we are 2 and 2 and maybe have dinner? Or should I text the girl I like and just ask for a date 1-to-1? Should I also text something about yesterday, or maybe it sounds needy? What about yesterday? The fact that you went off with someone else? What's to say about that? What should I do? So it sounds like these people are interested in like hanging out at the very least, right? I would either just do the daytime plans that they want to do together and see what kind of vibes you're getting then, or say, like, message her directly and just be like, yeah, cool, looking forward to do this. Hey, I was wondering, would you like to do something just the two of us sometime? And then see what she says, you know? And that's it, really. Okay, that one was significantly shorter, but I feel like that at least I could give that person like some advice on what to do. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Maybe I do another one, 3 in one day. I'll see what I find. I'll take a little look and see what I find. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to check out other videos, feel free to do so. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.